I mean, again, Tucker Carlson, I think he's a retard.
Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning?
I do. I think that this weird anti-American cosplaying as if you're being morally consistent, I think it's just pathetic.
Christ.
Here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist?
Actually did not say, could this be the Antichrist? I don't know where that comes from, but I know that those words never left my lips.
Could this be the Antichrist?
I don't know where that comes from, but I know that those words never left my lips because I'm not sure I fully understand what the Antichrist is.
Guys, we got to talk about Trump deranged Tucker Carlson. Now, he may be in about stage 3 of TDS. He hasn't quite hit stage 4. However, he has hit the raging anti-Semite stage. Okay, so he hates the Jews, the Zionists. He's anti-Israel, everything, anti-Iran war because it has something to do with Israel. If Israel wasn't involved, he wouldn't have an issue with the Iran war like so many others. But obviously they are involved, so he hates the war. The last time I discussed this man on the channel was when President Trump released this brutal post where he lambasted Tucker, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, and Alex Jones all in the same post, which I did absolutely love, by the way, but I haven't discussed him since because he's not really relevant to really talk about a lot on this channel. But today, he's back in the news again because he got exposed for calling President Trump the Antichrist. It was either before or after his Easter post. I think it was after the Easter post or on Easter Day when he had a meltdown because Trump made fun of Islam, saying like praise be to Allah in the post. And this dude had a meltdown.
So obviously you're mocking the religion of Iran. Okay. If you seek a religious war, that's a good idea. But by the way, no decent person mocks other people's religions. You may have a problem with the theology. Presumably you do if it's not your religion, and you can explain what that is. But to mock other people's faith is to mock the idea of faith itself.
What? Ever melts down about anything related to making fun of Christians and Jesus Christ, you know, our Lord and Savior. But when it comes to insulting Islam and Muslims, whoa, that's a bridge too far. So this based journal, this is definitely I probably shouldn't call them a base journal, but at least they're based today, is a left-wing wacko. However, they came through with receipts. So without further ado, let's go ahead and react to this. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos. So be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
Come back to this moment for you, which is there's the political case against Trump that you make. But I do want to ask you about the moral case that you've been making as well. And that's a word that you've used. You know, in that monologue responding to Trump's Easter post, you said that Trump's comments were evil. And I just want to understand that a little bit better. Do you think only his comments are evil, or does the evil extend to Trump himself? Is he evil?
I just want to be really clear that there's a lot of evil in me and in every person. So I just don't want to, and I've certainly experienced it in myself.
Guys, what type of little punk ass answer was it? Like, guy, I try to keep the language straight, but come on, that is a bitch ass answer, Tucker. There's a lot of evil in all of us. Like, come on, Tucker. Seriously? And I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys. This may be petty. I never promised I wouldn't be petty on this channel, but I hate Tucker's stupid face. His face looks weird. I'm going to just keep it a bean, but let's continue.
And I've seen it in all people. You know, we're all capable of evil. So I want to pull back on the judgment and be very precise about what I was saying, which
where was pulling back this judgment on your show on that day? Like, now all of a sudden you want to be Mr. Nice Guy? Come on. What is with this guy? I cannot stand people like him.
You cannot mock other people's gods and put yourself in their place, period. That is a deal killer for me. That's worse than the war with Iran, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I ask because, you know, you've been talking on your show about whether Trump is the Antichrist.
I have not said that.
On your show the day after Easter, you noted he did not put his hand on the Bible during his swearing in
Correct.
ceremony as president. You said, and I'm quoting, maybe he didn't put his hand on the Bible because he affirmatively rejects what's inside that book. And then on a recent show, you went further saying, here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist?
I actually did not say, could this be the Antichrist?
Here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist? Well, who knows?
I don't know where that comes from, but I know that those words never left my lips because I'm not sure I fully understand what the Antichrist is. If there's just one, I actually tried to understand it. I may have said some are asking that. I'm not weighing in on that because I don't understand it. Just to be totally
No, in
clear.
Revelations, obviously, the Antichrist is named in different
Yeah,
ways.
and not just Revelation, but throughout the
Yeah.
New Testament, there are references.
The guys, this is pure bitch assery. If you're gonna say it, stand on it. If you change your mind, that's okay. You know what? I went too far that day. You know, sometimes I just be saying stuff. You know, I don't really think that. You know, at that moment maybe I thought it, but I don't think it now. That's okay. It's okay to retract a statement, guys. But what the hell was that? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have to edit it into the clip because I hadn't actually seen the full thing, but I recalled Carlson's statements. I've already seen it before, but I didn't even got to edit it. This is from the New York Times. They edited it in for me. So thanks for that, assuming that they actually let me post this video because, you know, copyrights and stuff. But guys, a lot of people, since he's a raging anti-Semite, I want to make sure to cover this before I forget. People like TYT, the Young Turks, they're counting on people like Tucker because he's got a lot of viewership. They're counting on I don't know if they're counting on Candace Owens because she's so bat-ish crazy, but they're counting on Tucker because he's not quite as conspiratorial and crazy as Candace and just kooky Looney Tune like she is right now and getting sued out of the wazoo. So they're literally over here begging people like propagandist Mehdi Hassan, who was fired from what used to be MSNBC, which is now MS Now. They're begging him not to condemn Tucker for being a liar. He says, hey, Cenk Uygur and other fellow anti-war leftists, I get the desire to ally with anti-war rightists at the moment, but this is one of the many, many reasons I still have issues with Carlson. He lies so easily and casually and demonstrably. It's a trust issue with him. So first off, Hassan is not a good guy. I've already published videos exposing him. It's not worth doing again because he's not really relevant enough to do again. But he is probably one of the biggest liars that exists without getting deep into his history. He doesn't believe 99% of the things that he says. That's how big of a liar he is. He's right up there with Joyless Reed of MSNBC, who was also fired back when it was MSNBC. So he posted the clip. Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparin are over here begging for Tucker to be included in their movement, that their anti-Zionist movement. Again, this is coming from a guy who really doesn't give a crap about Israel. But I do care about common sense. And I know for a fact that it's been proven, if you guys have been paying attention to how the world has been operating, we don't have any real allies in the world. The only one that we seem to have is Israel. That's literally it. Nobody else does a dang gum thing for the United States. That is the truth. They don't protect us from terrorists. They don't give us money. They don't help us in wars. They really don't help us in trade. If anything, they're getting away and try to say we're doing stuff wrong if we try to help ourselves in trade. We have no allies. It's the facts, guys. But Cenk Uygur says, I don't understand why you think in this binary way that in order to be allies with someone on an issue, you have to vouch for that person in their entirety and every policy position they have. No, you just have to be an ally on that issue. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. He goes into like Martin Luther King and him partnering with Lyndon B. Johnson on the Civil Rights Act and all this stuff. Okay, so basically he's begging. Same thing for Anna Kasparin. Anna Kasparin says, Mehdi, can we just please put the partisan games away for a second and realize we need members of both sides to fight this fight? I'm genuinely asking politely and sincerely. He's constantly under fire for exposing the truth about our relationship with Israel. Hold on, let's see what the rest of it. You don't have to sleep with him. You don't have to love him or even like him. But please join forces. Please don't join forces with Zionists to bury him on this issue. He's right on Israel. We should encourage that. Okay, my response. LOL. Begging Mehdi to put the partisan games aside as if he will listen. This guy practically eats, sleeps, and breathes it, guys. So they're over here begging this guy. They want Tucker Carlson so bad, they're willing to overlook him being a liar because he's anti-Israel. These people are just weirdos, guys. I don't understand this weird like hatred for Israel. I just don't get it. I don't even really hate the fake news. I just really don't like them. I try not to use words like hate too much because then you get wackos out here going and trying to shoot people, right? But I really dislike a lot of stuff, and I think that that's fine. Like, I mean, very strongly, vehemently dislike it. I think that that's cool. And I don't like wars, all of this stuff, but these people have invented a lot of these narratives in their head about who Netanyahu is, what Israel is, what Zionists are, and it eventually just becomes full-blown anti-Semitism to the point to where even if Tucker Carlson is exposed straight up lying about Trump being an Antichrist and basically Tucker siding with the terrorists here, they still want to defend him, knowing that they've been speaking ill of Tucker Carlson for so many years. I don't even know how many years, but it had to have been probably like a freaking decade they've been speaking ill of Tucker Carlson. But now all of a sudden, because he's anti-Israel, well, no. Tucker's okay with us now. That is effing insane, considering the fact that he literally probably don't agree with y'all on literally no issue except for this one. I'm not sure that I would really want to partner with people like that, but that's just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching, and if you mess with Tucker, let me know in the comments if you mess with Tucker, how you feel and why. I'm out. Shout out to my members, patrons, and fellow anomalies: Cyber Noodle, 655, The Great, Bella Scott, Carpentier John, and Pinecone 6. I appreciate you guys every single day.
And I wish that Christians would speak up when he attacks Allah, when he mocks the faith of Muslims.
So to be clear, though, that was not what you were suggesting.
If I thought Trump was the Antichrist, I would just say so. If I understood what the Antichrist is, I would say so. And I don't really.